I'm Matt Sizemore. Too much time at home has meant too much free time on our hands as we self-isolate and wait out the COVID-19 outbreak. People are beating the boredom by learning new skills. We've heard about plenty of Idahoans making beer for the first time, figuring out their hand-me-down sewing machine, or getting a green thumb in the garden. Many people are learning to bake as well, so we asked, what exactly goes into making that loaf of sourdough or the perfect cupcake? This week's very special Made in Idaho story, reporters NATASHA Williams, Steve Dent, and Jessica Taylor take us from the farm to the flour mill to the finished product.
For Luke Adams, farming is a family endeavor.
Multi-generational family working together.
His family has been farming here at Tim Adams' farm in Rupert for decades.
We love doing it. We wouldn't work the hours we work if we didn't love being out here and growing food.
And each year,
everything just kicks off in the spring.
This spring has been a little different. Farming is pretty individual work, which Luke says makes social distancing easy. But he and his staff still take extra precautions to stay safe.
When we're changing who's in the tractor, we're wiping down the tractor, to make sure everything is as clean and sanitary as possible. Trying to avoid riding together in pickups.
Luke says life on the farm doesn't stop. Crops keep growing and the sun keeps shining.
We're, working, in cooperation with Mother Nature to get these crops in, in a timely manner so we can take advantage of the growing summer. That we really can't pause operations right now. We need to make sure that we continue with our planting plans.
This handful of barley will go through a similar process as a handful of wheat. It will start being grown out here in the field, and when it's time to harvest, this handful will be stored in these huge grain bins behind me. Then when the customer's ready for the grain, it'll travel along this grain auger to a truck where it will be taken from right here at the farm.
And here at Gastons Bakery, this wheat gets milled into flour.
Gastons Bakery, it's named after my grandpa.
Matthew Shue moved to Boise in 2001.
That's where we sieve the flour.
From the French region of Burgundy, making food.
When we do whole wheat flour, we take that off, so we get 100% of the wheat will turn into flour.
Has been part of his family for generations.
Oh, I love it.
A couple years ago, Gastons Bakery added a unifying mill, which helps them produce flour a different way.
Ever since people started getting sick from gluten, I felt like there was something wrong. Wheat is the most consumed cereal in the world, and people have been eating bread or bread type products for thousands of years. So why in the last 20 years is making us sick?
So Shue doesn't add anything to the wheat.
Flour made with this mill have a lot more nutrients and minerals than any white flour you could get.
Gastons has a goal of converting their entire production to house milled flour. They would be just one of 6 in the country.
I feel like it's very safe. It's a very good way to support local and eat better.
And once the process is finished, Gastons either sells this flour locally or it goes into the bakery and gets turned into some of our favorite pastries.
There you go.
And those pastries are brought right to the curb. This curbside delivery is one way Gastons Bakery has kept business up given the circumstances, which are less appealing than these treats.
We deliver to people's houses now, so we were able to make up some of that. Some of the lost business from the restaurants with the retail.
The bakery is still selling their sweet treats, but they too have felt the effects from the pandemic.
A few weeks ago, when all the restaurants closed, we lost about 75% of our business.
Shue comes from generations of French chefs, so his stuff is good. But more importantly, the treats can bring joy to those in the midst of all the coronavirus stress.
I think it's really important for us to stay open so people have access to good breads and pastries, and also the flour, obviously.
Gastons is known for their bread and their croissants, and beyond making orders for people like me to bring home, they also supply to local grocery stores.
Always been available at the Boise Co-ops, but it's now available at all the Albertsons as well.
They've adapted their day-to-day operations to stay safe, limiting the number of people and spreading out shifts. In the meantime, they're getting ready to crank up the ovens when doors open up again safely.
Well, those are Idaho News 6 reporters NATASHA Williams, Steve Dent, and Jessica Taylor with that special Made in Idaho report. If you want to try your hand at baking, Gastons flour made from the wheat grown at Tim Adams' farm is available at Boise Co-op locations and now at all the Albertsons in the valley. To help make ends meet, Gastons is also delivering flour along with all their delicious breads and pastries.